Listen, when it pertains to the greatest of all time, it's basically a measuring stick of can you top this? And everything matters. So let's get into why Kobe Bryant and LeBron James aren't really considered the GOAT by most people. Let's get into it. What's good, you guys? Prince Sports here coming at you with another one. All right. Now, when we talk about the greatest of all time, the guy that's used for that, the measuring stick for that, is Michael Jordan. Okay, most people got him considered as the greatest basketball player of all time. So, in order to surpass Michael Jordan, you would have to do what Michael Jordan did, but and more. Okay, you would have to make it look better, more impressive, and you got to win more. Okay, Michael Jordan's the only superstar in modern NBA history to go to the finals multiple times without losing. Usually, everybody else got a losing record, or have not losing record, but have lost in the finals, more than once if they went there multiple times. You know, Michael Jordan's the only exception to the rule, you know. So that gives him an edge over a lot of people. So in order to surpass Michael Jordan, you have to do everything he did individually, everything he did team-wise, and take it to the next level. It's just that simple, okay? It's simple, but at the same time, it's not so simple because his resume and his legacy is so hard to bypass. Even to this day, people are still talking about Michael Jordan because there hasn't been no guy to surpass him yet. Because if there was a guy that surpassed Michael Jordan, believe me, we would have been putting him on a back burner because we have been so busy into that new guy that we wouldn't have time to be talking about Michael Jordan because the greatest of all time would have been playing, and we've been looking at that greatness, but it has not come yet. So I'm going to go over two guys that, people talk about in modern NBA history that failed to catch Michael Jordan. One is Kobe Bryant, and the other one is LeBron James. Okay, so let's start off with Kobe Bryant. Why Kobe Bryant isn't considered the GOAT? There's a couple of factors that take place with that. Okay, now he does have a winning record in the finals, but he has lost two finals. Now that plays a role too because Michael didn't lost no finals, so you got to match that, and Kobe couldn't match that. Now there are a little exceptions you could do. You could have continued to one more. Let's say Kobe won 7 NBA finals, then his argument would be a little more better, but he still would come up short because here's the dagger. Michael Jordan was a franchise player from beginning to end, especially during his prime, during his run, and that was not Kobe Bryant. Even LeBron James has that hold over Kobe Bryant because he was a franchise player from beginning to end. In order to surpass Mike, you got to have that on your resume too. You can't at no point in your career be considered a sidekick. The minute you be considered a sidekick, you automatically lost. Now, for all of the Kobe lovers, it is the truth. Shaq is a 3-time Finals MVP. He was considered the best player on that team. You got pieces on that team to help Shaq. It wasn't the other way around to help Kobe. Kobe was just a piece to help their franchise player, which was Shaq, who was considered the best player in the world at the time, okay? So that's whether it's fair or not, life ain't fair. So that was charge it to the game. That was a strike number one for Kobe Bryant. You wasn't the alpha. You wasn't the number one for all your championship runs. That automatically dismisses you already. But then you add to that, you got 2 finals losses while you was on that team. What you do on the biggest stage matters the most. Okay, losing in the first round of the playoffs is not like losing in the NBA finals, because if you lose in the NBA finals, you're considered a championship contender. Teams that usually lose in the first round are non-championship contending teams that people don't consider to be great anyway. All right, so they don't expect you to go that far. So 2 finals losses, strike number 2, Jordan got none. You can't have none. You could probably get away with 1 at the most if you got hurt or something like that. There's exceptions, sometimes to the game. But in this case, there There's no exception to that one because you was playing for both of them. And some people say you're largely responsible for one, that you cost the Lakers a championship, the one against Detroit Pistons. So that's 2 strikes, okay? And the third strike is when Shaq left the team, all right, you didn't three-peat again, okay? That could have helped your case a little bit more. You did win without Shaq, and that's the main reason why you're considered a top 10, and to some people considered a top 5. That was the thing to help you get over the hurdle for getting out of Shaq's shadow. But that didn't help you get over the hurdle to getting out of Michael Jordan's shadow because you already had 2 strikes on you. And one of those championships you lost, in 2008, was with you being the alpha, being the number 1 on the team. So that's strike number 3. So boom, you're already out the mix. You can't catch MJ. You're done. You won't get the individual accolades to match him. You don't have the amount of MVPs and all these individual accolades to catch up to him. You're done. Not enough finals MVPs, so forth. And you don't get the team success to catch Mike. Kobe, you're officially done. Now there's LeBron James. Okay? LeBron James is 4-6 in the finals. Need I say more? You lost 6 times in the finals. You won. You lost the same amount of times Mike has won in the finals. And you went there 10 times. So you cannot, under no circumstance, lose NBA Finals as the number 1 if you want to beat the guy that we hold to the highest standard, which is Michael Jordan. So that's strike number 1. You already lost that one. All right. Strike number 2, while you was in your prime, you didn't get enough individual accolades to catch up to Mike. All right. You are the closest. I give you that, so to speak. You got 4 MVPs. Mike has 5. You should have 5 or more to put the needle in the coffin on that one. Mike has 10 scoring titles. You got 1. Okay, you failed miserably in that one. You got your paperweight. You're real light on that one. Jordan got a Defensive Player of the Year. You got none. All right. So you already lost that argument with the individual accolades. All right, and you had to do it within a reasonable time span of you being in your prime. So that means I give you up to, let's say your prime lasted 15 years because Jordan retired. So I'm going to give you 15 years. In 15 years, you were supposed to have 7 NBA titles or 6, 8 to 10 scoring titles, a couple more MVPs, 6 or more, a Defensive Player of the Year, probably 2 to get that, nail in the coffin again over Michael Jordan. And you failed exponentially on all accounts, team aspects and individual aspects. And your team aspects, you're playing with a more deeper roster and better hand than Michael Jordan ever had. You had multiple Hall of Famers on your team. You playing with the most stacked deck teams in NBA history. And you still come up short and you still underachieve. You played on a Miami Heat. You changed your goalposts. You try to move the narrative. And then guess what? You better damn sure win. You're supposed to 3-peat on that Miami Heat team or 4-peat. Okay? That would have helped your case a little bit more better. But you failed to do that. So again, could have, would have, should have with LeBron James. You failed too many times to be catching up to Michael Jordan. And now you left with the quote that you say yourself, I'm still trying to catch that GOAT. 20 years. 20 years? You still trying to catch Michael Jordan and he did all of this in 13 seasons? You failed. Big time. You failed. Jordan got 2 3-peats. You don't got 1. Dog, it's a wrap. So we're looking for the next guy to surpass Michael Jordan. And the only guy that could come close, could do that, could be in that top 3 is probably Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it. But everybody else, you miss your boat. You blow it. Game over. Prince Sports out. Peace.